Hey guys, and welcome. Assassin's Creed Shadows is finally here, and I have to say that I am actually very impressed. From all of the delays that we've come across with this game and how many times it's been pushed back, and some of the footage we've seen of it not looking so hot, I've got to say Ubisoft made the right decision, and the game, I think, in performance mode and in quality mode looks absolutely gorgeous. This game, however, is a heavily driven story-based game, so if you're not into watching cutscenes very regularly for a long period of time, or have the first 2 or 3 hours of the game really story-driven, then you might have a different opinion to me. But if you do, let me know down below in the comments on what you think. But I really enjoyed this gameplay. I really enjoyed the game itself. 27.5 hours it took me to complete this game and to finish it. Story-based anyway, there's still a lot more to go, but I really enjoyed it. A huge thank you to Ubisoft for providing me early access to this game. It's really helped get this video out ASAP, and I really appreciate it, so thank you again Ubisoft for that. But of course, leave your comments down below what you think of Assassin's Creed Shadows. If you've played it, or you think if you're yet to play it, of course let me know down below as well. But of course, don't forget to like this video. Let's try and get it to 1,000 likes for this game. A new Assassin's Creed launch, we all love it. And make sure you stick around to the end of the video to know how to enter a giveaway for a deluxe version of the game on any platform of your choice to celebrate the release of this game. However, everyone, without further ado, let's dive straight into the story explained of Assassin's Creed Shadows.
Welcome. A beautiful place, isn't it? A fresh sea breeze, the warm sun. This beach belongs just to you. It doesn't exist out in the world. Everything you see here is from the past, your past. One of your ancestors visited this place long ago, forever writing their memory into the fabric of your DNA. Animus Ego unlocks these genetic memories for you. To sense, wander, and connect. Like grains of sand which began as rocks, you have been shaped by these past lives, honed into who you are today.
You're being lied to.
Your journey to mindfulness begins through these ancestral memories for a total perspective on what makes you you.
New memory streams are activating now.
Erase self-doubt, fear, and weakness. Give yourself the confidence to conquer the
Follow
world.
the trail and we will be in touch. Welcome to the dark.
Memories come to us in fragments. You relive a jigsaw of experiences and emotions. Some memories are soothing and familiar. Wrapped inside them, you feel tranquil, complacent. And then there are the ones I have reconstructed. What I am about to show you. In these memories, there are imperfections, aberrations that defy algorithm and biology. I'm getting ahead of myself. You may not understand what you're seeing at first, but you must trust me. Trust yourself.
Years ago, my journey started at sea, as it must for all who journey to these lands. A complex and precarious place, at war with itself for centuries. From that chaos and bloodshed, my opportunity surfaced. In the form of the most powerful warlord their history had known. Oda Nobunaga. A lord who took an interest in me. An outsider among outsiders.
March 8th, 1581, Kyoto, Japan. Assassin's Creed Shadows begins with Diogo, a Portuguese man with a rich history. Here we can see Diogo's early journey in Japan, his first steps. He was a part of a group run by someone named Father Valignano. They found Diogo floating on a plank of wood at sea, and he's been Valignano's slave ever since. Father Valignano's mission today was not to fail, and allow his priests to be able to travel across Japan without any issues from the locals or their local superiors. Diogo gained a lot of attraction from all of the locals due to mainly the colour of his skin during that time. However, in walks Lord Nobunaga. Everyone bowed, even Diogo. Lord Nobunaga looked to have taken an interest in Diogo, and commanded that Diogo walked inside with them during their meeting. As they entered, they bowed to the Lord, and Valignano brought a gift for Nobunaga, a chair crafted by the finest in Europe. However, Nobunaga already knows Valignano's priests are roaming around Japan. This meeting wasn't to allow that, it was just to get the go-ahead whilst they were still going around and making themselves at home. Nobunaga wants to pay with their heads because he thought it was disrespectful. But as soon as all of the samurai around him reached for their swords, Diogo sensed danger and immediately assessed the room. Valignano, however, didn't believe that Diogo spoke the language, or at least didn't think he'd ask. Nobunaga does not think much of Valignano and his Christian army. He's not sure of them. The priest Louis Frois is valued, however, but that is all. Nobunaga requested to speak with Diogo alone. After questioning him about his past, in walks Valignano and Frois. Nobunaga requests that Diogo to be a part of his army, as part of letting the priests roam around Japan. The next memory is 6 months later.
This memory is fractured. What was left, it trails off into infinitesimally smaller fragments. I'll fast forward you to the next reassembled memory. One moment. The integrity of a memory can be tampered with. There are a variety of reasons. Viruses, data corruption, environmental disturbance. But sometimes it's because she doesn't want you to see them.
She. September 30th, 1581, in the Iga province. A battle commenced, many of the villagers of Iga dead, and here Diogo is a samurai, slaughtering the Igan villagers as he makes his way through. Diogo meets with Lord Nobunaga after their successful destruction of Iga. Here, Diogo goes by a different name, Yasuke, his samurai name. Yasuki was tasked to find someone named Momochi Sandayu. This was his task, to finish the battle once and for all. Memory 3.
Another memory. Just fine particulate at this point. Listen carefully. Memories can be fractured, ignored, twisted. But what has been can never truly be lost. The past is power. Do you understand? Fujibayashi Naue. The structural integrity of her memories is solid. There is much for you and her to discover. I wish you luck. Otherwise, this will be the last time we speak. Goodbye. For now.
Now with a ninja, right? Memory 3. Fukibayashi Naue.
He comes. Oda Nobunaga.
Earlier that night, we see the perspective of Naue, the shinobi that we will be playing as throughout the game, and her father, Nagato, She is part of the Egan villagers, fighting back against Lord Nobunaga's men and Yasuke. Nagato requests that Naoe rides towards the Kune shrine. However, Naoe knew her father wasn't telling her everything. He seemed like he knew what was going on, what they were looking for, but he didn't tell Naoe. The world is in many wars, not just this one. Someone else is coming to Iga, and what they want, they cannot have. Nagato was hesitant on giving Naoe any information at all in an attempt to protect her, but would do it if absolutely necessary. He met with one of the leaguers at Iga, Momochi Sandayu. Nagato says that Nobunaga's men are not the only ones here, and that she gave it to him, so he could protect it. Iga pledged an oath to her. We have no information on who this is just yet, but what we do know is that they're protecting something, and someone is here to get it. Here we see Sandayu look over Naoe, look back, and nod to Nagato, saying, "Do as you must." Naoe was handed over the hidden blade, and tasked to go to a shrine in Kofun, and obtain a box. The box cannot be opened, and it cannot be taken by Nobunaga's men. The blade is the key. Naoe snuck her way there, and well, there was the box. But suddenly, Naoe was attacked by a samurai, hit around the face, and knocked out. The samurai opened the box and said, "With this, we rewrite our history." Naoe was found unconscious by her father and helped out of the shrine on horseback. Nagato was trying to explain to Naoe on the way home what was going on, but Naoe was in and out of consciousness so often that she just didn't really know what was happening. Naoe, however, woke up a while later, with her father laying flat next to her, badly injured. Here we meet Tomiko. Naoe was brought here and she fixed her up, making her feel better. Naoe asked Tomiko for help and pulls out a mask. Tomiko says that she should go to Katino. There's a link there to this samurai that she wants to find that took the box to essentially help her father retrieve it. Naoe finds the samurai, kills him, and takes the box, and needed to escape the castle immediately. However, when she got outside with the box, she wasn't alone. Naoe was shot in the leg, injured, unable to walk from that point onwards, and drops the box. However, out of nowhere, in comes Nagato to protect Naoe. However, it wasn't just the one samurai. 11 others, all with masks, wanting this box, approached from the distance. Nagato died trying to defend the box, but most importantly, trying to protect Naoe. He died honouring his oath. However, rather than finishing them off, they let them suffer, die in pain, which was probably the one thing they would lead to regret. Naoe slowly crawls towards her father, hoping he was still alive and that he could be saved. But unfortunately, it was too far gone.
Plum.
I found you.
No. 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 I kept too much from you. Now, it dies with me.
Stop talking like that.
There is hope. Follow the blade.
父上。父上。
Remember a song in the music. We are together. Always.
But ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the story explained for Assassin's Creed Shadows. Very good. Really good intro for both characters. The first one we didn't really get much for, but the second character we got much more for. Really enjoying it so far. Now Wei woke a while later, fresh wounds across her face and leg. She woke up to a young boy sitting across from her, who she startled when getting up, and he ran out. Now Wei tried to follow, but she passed out. It was here that we see a flashback. Now Wei walks outside to her father, playing a song whilst looking over the village of Iga. Here we meet Matsu, do a short quest for her, and well, take a few poachers out in the area. Now Wei was happy that she chased them off, but those poachers were speaking like something was coming, a battle of some sort. Then in walks Nagato with a rushed look across his face, echoing the same thing. They're coming, he said. Nobunaga are coming and are ready to attack Iga. He instructed Matsu and Naoe to stay behind and hide, whilst he and the rest were to fight them off. However, back to reality. Naoe awoke to a man named Sorin. He found her laying in a field, lay over her dead father, and he brought her here to get better. It's a miracle to be alive, he said, and she will be here for a while recovering. This little lad, Junjiro, and him are currently situated in this temple, or what's left of the temple. Her father, however, unfortunately, didn't make it. Naoe heard this for the first time. She had no idea, and it took her a while to really come to terms with it and mourn over the death of her father. Did you try Red Dead Redemption? I did try Red Dead. I really liked it when it first came out. Undead Nightmare was amazing as well. Naoe's leg, however, is ready to come out of the splint. Junjiro was the first to look after Naoe. He lost more than we will ever know. Naoe started to warm up to Junjiro, and Junjiro to Naoe. Here, Naoe looks at the drawings that Junjiro created, one showing Naoe as evil. Junjiro tells Naoe about the musical instrument that her father used to play as well, that she had it with her when they found her, but it was in pieces. Naoe, however, spent the next few months recovering, getting better and stronger, learning new skills such as painting, climbing again on her new leg, and building relationships with Junjiro and Soren. But it was time. She was ready. Before she leaves, however, Junjiro had one last thing for Naoe. The musical instrument that her father would play, that she found in pieces on her body, Junjiro and Soren helped put it back together so that she could take it with her. Hey, put it back together.
Do you like it?
Junjiro's an absolute lad.
How?
It would seem Junjiro has a knack for mending things. With a little help, of course.
Can you play something that way? Please?
Yes, mate, Ubisoft did provide me with early access, yeah. So it should come out on the 20th. But Ubisoft sent me a code to review and to do a few videos on from today.
Follow the blade.
Thank you. I can never repay your kindness. But now, I have a different debt to settle.
Naoi, however, makes her way back to Tomiko. She's not seen any of them since that day, and now they reunite, but it's without her father. Naoi knows there are 11 people, all of them masked, that she must kill. They killed her father, they must all pay. Tomiko tells Naoi that if she does this, she must not just kill the 11 people in the masks, but she must also kill the people that surrounded them, put an end to all of them and what they stand for. Tomiko reveals she was part of a war long, long ago, and her land, where we are right now, is the only reason they fought her and her deceased husband, because they were in the way. And once they killed their husband, all she heard was laughter from the people. Sickening. Sorin and Junjiro, however, both came to greet and stay with us, which was a nice sight. However, it's time to start hunting the 11 people down. Naoi starts with one of them which held a gun, the one that shot her in the leg. She needed to find out from the blacksmiths more around where they get teppo, a series of ammo used in weaponry back then. This woman had a gold teppo. That's what we must find. Naoi eavesdropped on a couple of people, and here we find that there is a series of letters that will help us pass off as traders. We meet with one of the leaders and provide the letters, showing that this is a large order for teppo, and it's for Lord Nobunaga. His father was actually the tea master for Lord Nobunaga, so this really did help. However, Naoi wanted to sit down for a tea with the powerful members of Sakai. Here she's hoping that the culprit will show herself. Naoi had to go away and learn tea etiquette and got a new set of robes for the tea ceremony. She sat down with Imai Sokyu, trying to get into the tea ceremony as he was the leader of it. However, before agreeing, Lord Mitsuhide arrived unannounced. He came to excuse himself from the tea ceremony in a couple of days. However, it is odd. Lord Nobunaga abruptly requested his seat at the ceremony, but now he's taken it away because Mitsuhide will ride to him and request. Something seemed off, but after Sokyu offered to send a letter to Nobunaga, Mitsuhide said, "There's no need, he'll do it." Something seemed off, but how can you disrespect a general, eh? Naoi makes her way to the tea ceremony, and the last lady she speaks with is the one she has many questions around, Wakasa. We were invited back to her house after the ceremony to speak more, learn more, and there it was, the weapon that shot us in the leg. Naoe picked up the weapon, and there it all came out. Wakasa tried to wiggle her way out, but Naoe requested the location of the box. She didn't have the box, but she said she could take us to it. But Naoe didn't have any patience for her.
No, you'll tell me where it is.
I do that, you'll have no reason to let me live.
So you won't tell me where it is?
No.
Then you're of no use to me at all. I did it. Wakasa is dead, and I am one step closer to avenging my father.
To find our next target, Naoe hears of a warrior monk named Kyono, and they might know more around who the next target is. Kyono's temple was ruined, burnt by Nobunaga's army. Nagato sliced off the ear of one of the 11 masked people, and Kyono mentioned the name of a man, Wake Koritake, known to be the one-eared demon. This is our guy. We, however, meet a new character named Yaya. Naoe wants to join them to find Wake, but Yaya says she knows the place, and no one's returned the same, especially a girl going on their own. Naoe went on a journey to find out more, and Waka was held up at a castle nearby. Naoe helped a lot of the locals. They're all ready to battle too, fight back against this masked demon. But Naoe is ready to put an end to this awful person. Naoe finds and puts an end to Waka's reign, asking him, "Where's the box?" He laughs. So she tortures him even more, like he wanted to do to Naoe and Nagato. The castle was a bloodbath. However, the rest of them wanted to kill every member of Waka's army. Naoe agreed, and Yaya didn't like that. Naoe thought that killing was the answer, but now after seeing all the innocents of the village dead because of this act, she starts to feel guilty. Naoe returns to the hideout and speaks with Tomiko. Naoe tells her of her success of taking out the two. However, her allies caught wind that Lord Mitsuhide wants to speak with her. Lord Nobunaga's most prized daimyo. He wants to meet at the same place Naoe killed the first. It's a risk, but Naoe must go and find out what he wants. Naoe makes her way there, and inside the room, there is Lord Mitsuhide. He asked Naoe to sit, poured her a tea, and asked to drink. He tells Naoe something shocking, that he wants to kill Lord Nobunaga, that he is the leader of the group Naoe seeks to kill, and they're known as the Shinbakufu. He wants Naoe's help to go to his current location and take Nobunaga's head. He sent all of his guards away as he's hosting a tea ceremony this week, so this is the perfect time to strike. The plan is we will enter the castle in a concealed delivery cart, hidden. Yasuke, however, at the gate, came to look at the cart and requested that the contents of the packages were checked, because they've been sat there a while and the rice may not be good anymore. But Naoe somehow made her way out without being seen. Naoe made her way inside the house the Nobunaga was held up in, alone with Yasuke, Ranmaru, and Frois. Lord Nobunaga has asked everyone to fend off the incoming attacks, including Yasuke, evacuate the women, the children, and set everything on fire as they leave. However, as Nobunaga waited, so did Naoe.
Oh! You have served me better than my sons, Ran. Do not defy me now. Our tea ceremony today must be postponed. Who are you?
I am Iga.
Naoe knocked down Nobunaga, but then in walks Yasuke. The two battle it out and Yasuke pins her up against the wall. Naoe pulls out a hidden blade and tries to stab Yasuke, but then Yasuke stops in shock, saying this sentence, "It's you." Yasuke drops Naoe and she confronts Nobunaga.
You were there. You gave the order to kill my father.
Whatever Mitsuhide told you, he has lied. He has betrayed me. He has deceived us all.
No, you are the liar. You killed my family.
I have killed many people. I did it to make us strong. One shining sword under heaven with a single destiny. Not for this Shinbakufu. For the country.
You slaughtered innocents!
Such a blade cannot be forged without fire. I did what had to be done. Clans squabble like children. Wait for a chance to conquer us. I did it to unite us. There was no other way. But it does not matter now. I am trapped. I cannot rule after such a failure.
But to her surprise, Nobunaga knew nothing about the box or the Shinbakufu. He said Mitsuhide was lying. He betrayed him. Nobunaga invaded Iga because he wanted everyone to fall under the same belief, the same religion. He wanted everyone to strive towards a new destiny, and well, the Christians from the beginning, their beliefs could have shrouded that of the locals. He invaded Iga for that purpose, to reunite everyone, to remove these foreign clans. Nobunaga, however, feels he cannot rule after such a failure, that he's trapped, that his time has come.
My lord, no. You must not get my head. You understand? Please. Yasuke, it is over. I am lost. You saved me. I will never forget you, my friend. Do not thank me. Only honor me. I have brought my death upon my own head. Is there anything at all that once given life does not perish?
The head is unsalvageable. Even in death, he mocks me.
Yasuke was cast out by Lord Mitsuhide. However, Yasuke had other ideas, and he would not be returning to where he came. Naoe returned to Tomiko, and is upset that she got it wrong. She was lied to and manipulated, whilst Lord Mitsuhide has an army now. However, Tomiko tells us that Junjiro has left and not returned. Naoe found him, but he kept silent the entire time, not saying a word to Junjiro. Now, however, they're surrounded by Lord Mitsuhide's army. But then, in walks the samurai, Yasuke.
One more step, stranger, and you die!
I offer you the same choice.
You really think you stand a chance?
Another step, and we will both find out.
Shoot him! They won't work! It's too wet! Just kill him!
Yasuke fights his way to the top of the building, and there is Naoe. Yasuke came here to speak with Naoe because she's a part of something bigger. Bigger than this place, bigger than this war. The blade on her wrist, he's seen it before, and that's why he spared Naoe. Their fate is connected. Yasuke wants to work alongside Naoe for a time. However, before they do, Yasuke must come clean about everything he did. Yasuke killed Momochi Sandeo, but before he died, they had a conversation. Before he died, Sandeo showed him the hidden blade, and Yasuke posed the same reaction to when he saw Naoe's. Why? We don't know at this moment, but all will be revealed as we go forward. Sandeo told Yasuke before he died, a girl from Iga with the same blade. Trust her. Help her. However, Naoe didn't want to listen to Yasuke anymore, and wielded her blade ready to behead him, until Junjiro came running down the stairs, finally speaking. Junjiro was found sitting over his dead father, crying, and was found by Soren, the same way Naoe was found over her father. A shinobi killed Junjiro's father, and when she found Naoe, a shinobi, he didn't want to help her at all. He even at some point wanted to kill her as revenge. But Junjiro warmed up to her, started to like her and get on with her really, really well. His point was, Yasuke saved them. He's done bad things, but so has Naoe. Junjiro has forgiven Naoe, and well, she became more open to letting Yasuke work alongside her. They all returned to Tomiko's, and in walks Yasuke. Tomiko at first was pretty shocked, but warmed up to Yasuke. However, Naoe wanted to make this official. She wants to make a league, want to fight back against the Shinbaku.
We have all seen darkness. Some have been that darkness. We have come together despite it all. To bring change. To bring light. It won't kill you, I promise. This is Egan tradition, going back as far as anyone can remember. This bonds us.
What will we call ourselves?
My father told me to follow this blade. That I would find my way.
Then we should continue to follow it.
We are the League of the Hidden Blade, the Kakushibaiki.
It is an honor. One I will not take for granted.
United, always, in the Kakushibaiki. Come on, I want to show you something.
The Besso clan are the next target. With Yasuke's help, he knew of their leader and who we should contact to get to learn more about them and their whereabouts. Another is Issei Hadaoki, and to the others, Yasuke can speak to his contacts about. This is the start Naoe wanted, and they're on the right pathway forward. We meet with a lord named Issei Sadotami. His brother is Issei Sadaoki. We need to track him down and kill him. However, he was not always this way. The two brothers were once close, but his brother poisoned him so that he could take over as leader. Sadotami was not a follower of Mitsuhide either. Here we learn that Sadauki was a part of the Shinbaku, just the information we wanted. We were sent off to retrieve a series of letters stolen by someone named Genojo. He would become a big part of his own journey and Naoe's journey later on, which we'll go deeper into in the video. We return with the letters, and here we and Yasuke meet a mysterious man. He would go on to talk about the samurai and that foreigners are coming. There are many here that don't want to come to terms with change, speaking about the underdog that no one is rallying behind whilst watching sumo wrestling. They won't follow to start, he said, but when he's the one left standing, his enemies lie below. Make sure you remember this face, because it will surprise you later on in the story. After he left, many of the locals were left in shock of his presence, the unseated shogun, Ashikaga Yoshiaki. However, we returned to Isa Sadatame, and we're ready to infiltrate the castle to kill his brother. Yasuke was the first one to finish Sadauki. Here we also found Genojo fighting against Ise. He seemed to be taking a liking to Naoe, but another one dead, and another one that didn't know where the box was. Yasuke, however, is now the focus of our next few missions. We go back in time to another memory of Diogo, where he was sent to a training camp by Lord Nobunaga to train as one of his samurais. He was introduced to his sensei, Nobutsuna. Diogo got into a bit of trouble after his first sparring match, and well, worried he'd be kicked out because of it. He didn't want to go back to where he was scared. But the next day, a knock on the door by someone named Kuma. Lady Oichi, the younger sister of Nobunaga, was there to greet him. She heard of the trouble he had the previous night, but she looked at it in a different way. Diogo was helping a woman that these people were harassing. Lady Oichi questioned Diogo, asking him why he's here, who he is, why he'd come so far, and why he's really here. But Diogo declined to answer the questions. He was given a set of robes by the woman he had saved the previous night, and this would be his fit throughout training. Diogo would tirelessly train throughout the month until Lord Nobunaga's return. He was locked in, he was ready, but it wasn't going his way to begin with. He was being knocked down, having his paintings teared apart by the sensei. At one stage he looked defeated, ready to give up, but then he remembered what he was truly fighting for, the reason he was here in the first place, the second chance at life that he'd been given. Yasuke, however, was sat here in his hut when he noticed a man in the distance, almost spying on him. He chased after him and questioned him. He was there to negotiate the building of a church nearby, but Yasuke didn't buy it. He was Portuguese. He was there by this foreign rival. Could this be linked to his past? Much time later, a knock on the door. The sensei summoned Diogo. When he got there, Lady Nene was stood, expecting him. She explains to Diogo that the training he went through was grueling, and that Nobunaga was even a student of Notsubuna. Lord Nobunaga gifted the sensei a prized katana. However, someone from another school challenged Nobutsuna sensei to essentially take the katana. Lady Nene wants Diogo to challenge them, take the sword back, give it back to his sensei, and win the battle. Diogo, however, challenged the sensei from another school, taking out 3 of his students and retrieving the sword. Lord Nobunaga loved this and assigned Diogo a place next to him as his samurai. It's here that Diogo chose his samurai name, Yasuke.
Your loyalty and valor. What's more, you have earned your place next to me as a samurai. What shall we call you? Samurai.
My name is Yasuke.
Now back to the present time. Kuma came to see Yasuke, asking him to meet Lady Oichi at a nearby castle. Here Yasuke meets Lady Nene, after all this time of seeing each other. Lady Nene mentions the Shimbakfu, and that she's heard of them. Along with this, she knows of Naoe. Yasuke agrees to help in whatever way that he can. Yasuke made his way to Seta Bridge, where he heard something was going down. He patiently waits and hears someone on top, named Akechi Kagamitsu, with two others fighting back against them on the other side. Two people that we'll come to learn more about very shortly. Akechi Kagamitsu is confirmed to be a part of the Shimbakfu, and well, once Yasuke gets the confirmation, he jumps on top and prepares himself ready for battle. Akechi retreats to the castle, leaving Yasuke to report to Naoe. We meet the man on top of the bridge, Shoti, and he asks us to help his daughter, so Naoe takes the lead on this, and well, they seem to be taking a liking to each other. The relationship between Shoti and his daughter was fractured, Katsumini, but she joins us to fight against Akechi. Naoe makes her way inside the castle and to the top floor. Here, she is face to face with Akechi Kagamitsu, and finally gets the better of him. Naoe questions him about the box, but he has no idea. Akechi served the Shimbakfu because he promised his uncle mass wealth. There was no malice behind his serving, but a family gain. Naoe and Yasuke return to the watchtower, and well, Shoti and his daughter look to have a great relationship again after one that was quite fractured recently. 4 down, 7 more to go. Our next target required Yasuke to speak with Lady Oichi. They met in Oichi's home, a private place that they could speak. The Shimbakfu are here oppressing the peasants, and Lady Oichi is helping us find them. She handed us a scroll with a series of notes on to follow. They were planning on destroying a teppo factory and harassing farmers. So we need to take care of that, and then Lady Oichi at the temple to finish what our brother started. They both sat there and prayed, held a ceremony in Lord Nobunaga's memory. Lady Oichi, however, tells us something before she leaves. The leader of the Shimbakfu is amongst the highest in the land. We, however, find clues to the location of the next member of the Shimbakfu, and when we see who it really is behind the mask, it's a shock to Yasuke and Naoe.
Were you surprised, Yasuke? Come, sit.
You? But why?
Sir, please, respect the parsonage of Lady Oichi and be seated.
Lady Oichi, explain yourself.
I wanted only to help the people of Omi.
By stealing from them?
A poor harvest. The people were starving. I borrowed from a moneylender. The Daikon of Omi.
The people ate, but Lady Oichi's debts grew and grew.
One day, the moneylender invited me to a group. He said we could help the province.
That was not wise.
By the time I discovered my mistake, it was too late.
These are lies. Obvious lies.
Why should I lie? Why should I live? Nagamasa is dead. Nobunaga is dead. Everyone is dead.
Please, sir. She did not know the evil this group would do.
Don't I get a say?
You do. But Naoe, she was kind to me at Azuchi. Her brother made me a samurai. I owe her.
Blood must be paid in blood, Yasuke. Lady Oichi must die.
We cannot build a world without mercy, or we are no better than those we overthrow.
Lady Oichi is part of the Shinbaku. Yasuke decided to not kill Lady Oichi, but to let her live. She was always there for him. She was always nice to him. And Yasuke felt like she deserved to live because of this. Yasuke and Naoe speak about what they're doing outside, and Yasuke was reassuring her that they are doing good. Naoe said to Yasuke that Lady Oichi, she likes him, and you can tell that he likes her. But it would never work, because he was just a samurai. However, how does Naoe know that Yasuke wasn't a prince in his previous land? That story, however, is apparently for another day, and one that I hope we do come back to because it sounds very interesting. Naoe makes a head start in finding the next target. She meets with someone named Kuroda Kenbi. Here, there is a planned tea ceremony where she meets someone. Ukiga Naoe. We hear a commotion outside. Mitsuhide's Ronin are hunting us down. All casualties have been accounted for, apart from Ukita's son. Yasuke, however, finds and retrieves the Lord's son and returns him to them. However, when he did, he didn't seem very pleased that he was back. Yasuke questioned the Lord why he's here, and why is his son not allowed to return to Hijimi Castle? And why is his son not allowed to return to Himeji Castle? Something's off. It turns out that Ukita is a part of the Shinbaku. He is one of the masked people. Ukita orders all of the shinobi around Yasuke to kill him, but he fends them off. Yasuke warns Kuroda Kenbi of what he's found, and he was shocked. He was planning on staging a meeting with Kuroda there, and Ukita was planning on not attending. It was an ambush. He was there to try and kill Kuroda. Kuroda, however, said, continue with the meeting. We will have the element of surprise. But Kuroda must know what he gains from this before we strike. They all infiltrated the castle, and Yasuke made his way to the top to battle Ukita. Of course, Yasuke bested Ukita in combat, and Naoe questioned him as to where the box is. He knew about the box, but never cared for it. He was only ever interested in seeing the downfall of a clan named the Kakushiba Iki, to ensure his goals would not be interrupted. Killing Lord Kenbi was only a small part of it. Ukita died so that his son could live. There was no more running or hiding. Lord Kenbi was never going to hurt his son. It was the son that insisted on keeping the alliance strong. It will continue with the new head of the Ukita clan. Kenbi convinced Ukita to give up his own life to save his son, even though he wasn't going to touch his son. A tactic used in their favour. Yasuke and Naoe, however, still had more of the Shinbaku to take out. The next was the Ox, a tank-like figure that bullied his armies and those around him, telling them to join him or die. Besso Haruwasa. There was a lord, however, that was captured. Lord Nakamura Tadashigi. He and the Ox were once very close, once had the bond of brothers, but now their views could not be so far from each other. Yasuke and Naoe met with the Lord Nakamura, explaining to him why they want the Ox. He decides to help them get to him. It would, however, be difficult with the followers that he has, which is why we must not only kill the Ox, but also kill the idea of his movement. Nakamura sounds defeated. He's endured this for too long, almost 2 years. Nakamura will be held up at this temple close by, and we'll meet him there once Yasuke and Naoe know more. Taking down the Ox was a long task. Taking down the lieutenants in his circle, or the Ronin that looked up to him, but we were finally successful in our efforts. We now need to infiltrate the castle and take down the Ox once and for all. Before the Ox would fight us, however, he threw his best samurai at us, one that we managed to best in combat. The Ox walks off, leaving more people to die around him, his most trusted samurai. He was a young boy, one that didn't join this group to kill people, but one that was forced here, telling us to tell his grandmother that he loved her and that he was sorry. Another life that didn't need to be taken. Yasuke was not finished, however. He hunts down and bests the ox in combat. Naoe asks about the box, about their leader, in which he replies, "You destroyed our home and cut down our leader to inquire about a box?" The Tatsu gave him power. In exchange, he gave him his word. There's nothing the ox could tell them. He didn't know what the box was, what was in it, or why it was needed. None of them did by the looks of things. Yasuke finished him off. The cause dies with him. Haramasa was just a man that used his power to exploit the land. Circumstances drive the Suno to join the ox. And, well, there'll be more like that young monk that have done the same. But the movement is now over, and everyone can go back to peace. Our next mission was to meet someone named Lord Junkai. We are introduced and provide a gift. Yasuke makes out that we are here to learn and invest in their culture, trying to learn more about them. The Akimara clan are, however, a clan causing them issues. Naoe and Yasuke will help them deal with them. Joken, however, also wants us to visit him at his temple sometimes. He's almost like the priest or the peace giver. Here, we will learn more. The goal before we find out who we are is to bring peace to the land. To do this, we need peace scrolls and an invitation to peace talks held by Joken. The peace talks took place, however, there was assassination attempts at the top of the building. Naoe was sat there to stop it before anyone was hurt, but this sparked controversy across both clans. However, Kojiro tells Yasuke to throw his blade at the monk, a person that Yasuke met earlier and that was helping him through this journey, and when he does, all was revealed. Joken Hokyo, he was the man behind the mask. He was a part of the Shinbaku. Yasuke fends off against this man and tracks him down. Yasuke's questions as to where the box is goes unanswered. We were still no closer to understanding what this box was. The two clans left, hopefully finding peace with one another. Now knowing who their real enemy was, could reunite together and work together. We're edging closer and closer to the next masked figure. Niwa Nagatide is our next contact to speak with. He tells us to speak with someone named Hong. He's a merchant that sells noodles on the waterfront. He knows a lot about pirates, people that comes and goes, and people that are causing issues across the land. He mentions a man named Samimaru, a leader. Big man, scar on his face, said he was from Hiruga Bay. That's where we must start. We also got word about Nagahide's cousin. He eats a lot in here, and he also could have some useful information. We make our way to a castle to find Nagahide's relatives. We get to speak with them, and they think they're safe. However, there's a melody that's playing, one that's familiar to Naoe and Yasuke. They've heard it before. We defend off against the ambush and told them to get to safety. They sent us to a man in the mountains, one that could help us find the source of this melody, this tune.
It's melody again. I hear it.
The melody we're constantly hearing in battle. Yasuke meets this man and speaks with him about the melody. He says it's an original composed by one of his best students. It was a tribute to what his clan had lost. He started to deal with wicked people and dark days, pirates, and people suffering because of it. He asks Yasuke to find the pirates and set his people free of fear. We now know who we're looking for, and it's time to end this evil once and for all. Takeda Motiaki, the pirates that Shimaru is working for, someone called the Performer. The pirates that Shimaru is working for called him the Performer. There was an ambush at a castle estate Nagatide's family was based in, and that melody played. The clan elder sent Yasuke to the temple, and the piece was composed by Takeda Motiaki. He wants to take it all back, the castle and Wakasa. He's trying to put an end to Nagatide's clan, to gain better access to imports and to allow pirates to roam free. They set off on their mission, however Samaru spoke to someone in Yasuke's past, Duarte. This struck a nerve with Yasuke, and Yasuke chased him down and slain him. He didn't get any answers as to how he knew their name though. Naoe, however, was tasked with taking down Motiaki. Naoe got the better of him, and he lay dead. He wasn't entirely evil. He loved Wakasa in his own way, but was brought into the Shanbakufu like powers, but was brought into the Shanbakufu like others for power. Naoe and Yasuke both met with an old friend of Naoe's, Hattori Hanzo. He knew her father, were once best friends, almost as close as brothers, but that faded. However, Hanzo knew what Nagato was hiding, the fancy lacquered box. But Naoe doesn't even know what was inside the box. Hanzo is trying to deter Naoe away from the journey that she's on, telling her that it killed her father and her mother, that the journey robbed her of an incredible woman. It was those boxes, Hattori said, meaning there was more than one that we're looking for. These are the reason for all of the deaths. Hattori, however, points us to a tomb. Inside there's a coffin with all of the answers that we seek. Naoe finds the shrine with 3 tables in, the sign of the creed, and a series of maps, with a room dedicated to a piece of armour, one that we're all very familiar with. However, there was on the ground a book, one in a foreign language. Naoe couldn't decipher it, but Yasuke could try. As we got outside, Yasuke translated the Latin language in the book, and Naoe was on a personal journey to find out more about the creed, who her mother really was, and her father.
Ah, Latin.
What does it say?
It is a journal, or at least a part of one, if we judge it by the cover. Belonging to Alvaro Cataribera, a Spaniard. He writes about a young assassin.
What? Read it.
I will try to translate, but it is only a few pages. I would need more time for precise reading.
Yasuke!
All right. The time to expand the Brotherhood has come. If we are to fulfill the mission from Emperor Gonara. Tomorrow, Tsuyu and I leave for Iga, in search of a new ally. If rumors are true, a free spirit shinobi, Momochi Sandayu, fights daimyo oppression.
A mission from the former emperor? Momochi Sandayu?
There is more. With luck, Tsuyu will build our brotherhood in Japan. Kakoshiba Iki, they call it. One last page. Today, I announced my departure to Tsuyu. I gave her the task of protecting the objects, to keep their secrets. The balance of Japan rests with her. We live in shadow to serve the light.
The objects. What do you think they are?
I do not know. But judging by what this Cataribera wrote, their identity should remain a secret.
My parents. They died for this creed. Hanzo spoke the truth. Stay your blade from the flesh of the innocent. I found that tenet in the coffin.
They were good people who fought for others. We will find what they have lost and honor what they stood for. They are not establishing outposts in Tamba, Omi, Ki, and Yamato.
That's as good a start as any.
She followed a few data cracks to its original source, which was quite interesting. The fact that she didn't even question what they were. However, we hear that voice again from the start. The guide.
There is something different about you. A newfound sense of... The term escapes me. Is it desire? That's for you to define. A path you will trace beyond my guidance. Good. What has been can never truly be erased. Only obscured to those who come next. What once was, is. Waiting. Go. Onward.
We get a lot of information here around Naoe's parents and the origin of the creed. We hear the voice of a Spanish assassin, Alvaro Cataribera. He was sworn into the Brotherhood in the 16th century and swore amongst many things, and that his oath would turn out to be his undoing. Alvaro violated one of the 3 Brotherhood tenets when he killed a woman by mistake. It was one of his first kills too. He had nightmares about it for days, weeks after, but one nightmare persisted. From Spain to far-flung ports, but the main place he kept having dreams about was a place called Japan. He met 2 men in particular who left for Japan, and Alvaro followed. In the year 1549, he landed in Nagasaki. He absorbed as much as he could in terms of culture, trying to start a new life here. Progress is slow but promising. But then, Alvaro saved a Japanese girl. Her arm shriveled from starvation, but she was determined to learn and wield the hidden blade. She had the potential to become something lethal. Alvaro went on to build his version of the Brotherhood in Japan, in spite of the one that wouldn't accept him back home in Europe. This involved Naoe's mother, Tetsuyu, and her father, Nagato, and even Hanzo. Naoe travelled across the land, finding clues in different sites where members of the Brotherhood were held up. The first showed a letter from her mother, Tetsuyu. Someone displeased her mother. Even the phrase, hide in plain sight, a message on the wall of this hideout. Another hideout was atop of some ruins near a waterfall, again showing the same thing, and the final one a mountain with only one way up, with some trouble waiting for us atop, almost like someone was trying to find out the same information as Naoe. Yasuke and Naoe, however, are ready to fight their final boss. This was the last one before the leader, Mitsuhide. They need to speak with Lady Nene first and plan their approach. All of the land were gearing up for battle, many risking their lives, many dead. All for one man. Yasuke finally confronts him in the temple, but he surrounded Yasuke with guards, leaving and running away. Naoe, however, followed him on horseback, and he eventually ended up near the docks, where he had the choice, run away or stay and fight. Yasuke caught up to us, and we fought him until the death. Mitsuhide told Naoe and Yasuke of the final member of the Shinbaku. He would have become shogun again if it wasn't for Naoe. They underestimated her. Ashikaga Yoshiaki was the leader of the Shinbaku, the man we need to kill and to end this on once and for all, and the man that we spoke to at the sumo wrestling section of the game that I said, remember this guy? Naoe asked Mitsuhide about the box, and well, Ashikaga has it. It's one of the Imperial regalia. For years they searched for it. All this time it was hidden in Iga. The Oda clan had many great samurai, but Mitsuhide thinks that Yasuke is the best. He wants to die like a samurai. Yasuke could have given it to him, but Naoe has other ideas.
Your life's work is undone tonight, samurai. But my father's legacy lives on through me.
Lord Nobunaga has been avenged. My men will collect the traitor's head, and we will savor today's victory.
Will you succeed Lord Nobunaga?
Our council must find a successor to finish the work, with might to crush any opposition.
And grace to maintain the balance.
I am the son of a farmer. I have seen samurai take all and leave nothing. That stops now.
And if they don't, you will hear from us.
I'm sure that I will. Samurai, your actions have honored Lord Nobunaga.
Thank you, Lord Hideyoshi. That means more than you know.
There, however, was only one stop left. There he sat with the box and the mask in front of him, no guards surrounding him, completely defenseless. Ashikaga wants to get out of here alive. Well, he has information that interests both parties. Naoe wants to know where her mother is. In Yamato, there's word of a woman with a hidden blade like hers. Ashikaga, however, tells us that he stole the box for a reason. Objects believed to be magical. In his hands, it became a means to restore, to secure this country's future. But these were no normal pirates that they're dealing with here, or people. These were a part of the Templar Order, a clan Yasuke has been looking for a very long time. Ashikaga knew that Yasuke wanted the location of someone named Duarte. He gave that information. They both got what they wanted, and they left Ashikaga there and saved, basically just let him live. The reason, however, they let him live was because now the Shinbaku are no more. He's got no boxes. Everyone knows what he's done. He's going to have no respect, and he's going to be frowned upon for the rest of his life. They both had their own journeys to go after, the Ishikaga. Now, Yasuke and Naoe both have their own journeys to continue on after Ashikaga gave them this information. Naoe went to the location that he said, and there, a keyhole which wouldn't open with her blade, and a stone in the shape of the Brotherhood sign. Naoe thought about what could open this door, and then she came back to that night. Tsuyu left Nagato with a heavy burden, and that was to protect this box. They are the regalia, each with jewels inside. They are the Sacred Heart of Japan. The Emperor entrusted the Kakashiga Ikki to protect these boxes. This, however, was long, long ago, back when Nagato first met Tsuyu. She was the apprentice of Alvaro Catarabira, as she followed his foreign creed of assassins. They came to Iga seeking for help from Sondayu, stating the balance of the world was a risk if they didn't help. Tsuyu stayed in Iga, just like Hanzo did. They all swore on the creed and the oath. But well, as Tsuyu was once the apprentice, she soon after became the master. Hanzo never told Naoe because he didn't want her to get hurt. Hanzo loved Tsuyu, but when Nagato and Tsuyu had Naoe, Naoe quickly became their jewel. The enemy became sparse. Long time without anything creed related. They let their guard down and lived as normal people. But they were foolish to let their guard down. The regalia was safely hidden in Setsu, but then a new foe rose from the shadows. Nagato stayed in Iga with Naoe whilst the League was slaughtered and the regalia stolen. Only Sondayu, Hanzo, and Tsuyu survived. Tsuyu returned that night with one of the boxes and made Nagato promise to protect it. She promised she'd return with the other regalia, but she never did. Nagato hid the jewel inside the coffin and kept it a secret. The League died with her. Nagato swore from that night onwards to never ever let anything harm Naoe again. Every night, Nagato would play Tsuyu's favourite song, hoping that she'd come back. And one night, he heard that song being played back to him in return. He went to check it, but there was no one there, nothing. So every night, he played the song, just to show the regalia is safe, and that Naoe is safe. Naoe remembers everything. However, she pieces everything together and decides to play their song to try and open the door or see what happens. When Naoe plays the song, a pathway opens. As Naoe enters, a banner showing the symbol of the creed was hanging from the ceiling, and as she got further in, 3 stones for 3 boxes? But only ever alluded to there being 2. Valor, wisdom, and benevolence. Naoe finds a letter next to one of the stones where the boxes would sit, and it was from Tsuyu. Naoe, however, when reading it, hears a noise and turns around, thinking it was her mother, but it was Hanzo.
Countless nights, I kept hidden, listening to Nagato's song, again and again. It took all those years to understand. It was the key.
It was you playing back to my father.
Forgive me, Tsuyu.
You stole the regalia?
No. Lord Ieyasu found the mirror and stole it from the Foreign Order. A secret very few know. He believes these treasures belong to our land. He kept the mirror and waited to return it to the Emperor.
To gain favor from the Imperial Court.
Perhaps. He plays a much better Go game than I. But we both believe the foreign powers are only here to take from us.
So how did you get the mirror?
I am loyal to him now. I simply asked for it. Come, I will explain.
The song that played back to Nagato, it wasn't Tsuyu, it was Hanzo. He walks in with one of the other boxes, but we learnt that the box was stolen. How did Hanzo get it? Lord Ieyasu found the mirror, which was the box, and stole it from the Foreign Order, who initially invaded to steal the box. Lord Ieyasu took a liking to Naoe and Yasuke after hearing about what they did to the Shinbaku. He liked the fact that Yasuke hated the foreign army as much as he did, and was just as interested in Naoe's character and her loyalty to her father. But Hanzo needed the mirror from the Lord to help fight back against the foreign power, which is why he was given it, for redemption. But why did Hanzo need redemption?
Why do you need redemption? Hanzo.
The choice you face will be difficult after you hear what I have to say. Listen, and resist drawing your blade this time.
I'll try, but no promises.
Your mother's strength with your father's compassion. The only people I have loved in this world. I told you Nagato and I were brothers despite our differences. But we had one thing in common. We both loved Tsuyu. She had the beauty of Kishotenya and the fighting spirit of Hachiman. I did not care for her idealist foreign creed. All I wanted was her. The things I did to impress her. But she chose Nagato, a lower rank to Jisamurai. The pain and the shame were unbearable.
Did she know of your feelings for her?
My pride would never allow that, so I left Iga. I offered my services to whomever would give blood to my blade. They all feared me. Only Hanzo, the bloodthirsty demon. Years passed, and I returned to Mibno. I thought I could conquer her hurt, impress her with my exploits. But then, I saw you. The perfect family. I left again. My rage consuming me. This was supposed to be my place. She should have loved me. I did. The unthinkable.
What did you do?
I heard of a mysterious group offering riches for the regalia.
You sold Ashikaga Yoshiaki their location. Out of resentment.
The contract was secret. I did not know who forged it. But I didn't care. I wanted to break them. So I sacrificed the thing to you loved most.
Her family. You jealous traitor.
You caused her god to fall. It weakened her.
Careful, Hanzo.
I regretted it immediately. But it was too late. I rushed to Tsuyu to tell her the regalia had been compromised. She called the Kakushiba-iki back to defend Setsu.
But it wasn't enough. I saw their bodies in the kofu.
The Imperial regalia was stolen. I betrayed them all. And Sandayu said she was dead. But I never believed him.
So you searched for her?
For years. I also watched your father mourn. Watched him raise and love you. You grew. As did my shame. After the first attack on Iga, I knew it was only a matter of time before it fell. I could not let Tsuyu's daughter die in a pile of rubble.
That night in Iga, you wrote that letter?
I always suspected your father to have the jewel, but so did the enemy. I offered you both the protection of my lord, but when Nagato refused, my options were few.
And the Shinbakufu got to us first.
I am sorry your father died. I tried to save you both. And I can save you still by persuading you from your path.
My path will unify us.
Is that what you think you're doing? Picking up misfits on the campaign for unity?
They are my family.
They slow you down. Family. That same weakness is what killed your mother and father. You repeat their faults.
And you have not learned from yours. What has your jealousy earned you but the name Demon?
I will take all your venom, if it means we start anew. Naoe, do not make their mistake.
Enough! I want justice!
Perhaps I deserve death. But not by your hand. And not now.
You don't get to decide that!
As you wish. But I will not die before I know Tsuyu's fate. We can find out together. Please.
Keep my parents' names out of your demon mouth!
Nagato and Hanzo were brothers despite their differences. But there was one thing they had in common. Tsuyu. Hanzo loved her, as did Nagato. But she chose Nagato, a lower-ranked samurai. Hanzo would never tell her of his feelings. He was too proud to do so, which is why he left. He left and joined an army, taking his anger out with his blade. He became known as the Oni Hanzo, the demon. He returned back to try and impress Tsuyu with his achievements, but when he returned, he saw Nagato, Tsuyu, and now Naoe, all one happy family. So Hanzo did the unthinkable. Jealousy got the better of him. He heard of a mysterious group offering riches for the regalia, one of these boxes. He made a contract with this group. It was a secret group, he didn't know who forged it. So he basically sacrificed the thing Tsuyu loved the most, which was her family, out of jealousy. Hanzo then said that Tsuyu became weak because of Naoe. He regretted it immediately, but it was too late. He rushed to tell her that the regalia had been compromised. She called the Kakushiba-iki back to defend, but it wasn't enough. Hanzo betrayed them all. Hanzo searched for years, raise and love. He couldn't just sit there and watch Naoe die in a pile of rubble. So Hanzo forged a letter pretending to be Tsuyu, wanting to find the last regalia and get it out of Iga. Hanzo offered Nagato the protection of the Lord, but he refused. Hanzo is still trying to persuade Naoe from continuing on her path to find more out about the creed, because it will only get her killed, is what he thinks, and suffer the same fate as it did her mother. But Naoe isn't letting him off that easy. Naoe bests Hanzo in combat, and they came to an agreement. They have both been caught in the vengeance whirlpool. What Hanzo has done, Tsuyu won't forgive him, unless Naoe does first. So she does. Hanzo must return to the Kakashiba Iki, and they will help to find her mother together.
After what you have done to me and to my father, Tsuyu will not forgive you. Unless I do first. So I'll forgive you. Prove to me you're my ally. Return to Kakashiba Iki, and together, we will find my mother. You have my vow.
Call. And I will come.
Ladies and gentlemen, Naoe's story in this video ends here, but Yasuke still has more to go. Yasuke was still on a hunt for leads that could take him to Duarte de Mello. He finds a note to say that his ships will look for a signal, so he lights 3 signals and waits until sunset, and there, 3 boats come in. He speaks with a local boat owner who helped these foreigners get onto the island, and gave the locations of boats nearby. On this boat was Duarte.
I hate crying.
No! Stop!
You interrupted playtime.
You remember me.
I remember your face. I never forget a face. And all the things one can do to it.
Where is Nuno Karo?
You abandoned my work at the Cove. To think the Japanese trusted a sword in the hands of your kind. Mistakes of lesser men.
You will speak no more. Not of me, not of my allies.
Have you come to kill me?
You remember my face, but today you will remember my name. I will make you feel the pain of those you have touched.
How does it feel?
Shut your damned mouth!
Revenge is dull. Just like death.
Where is your master? Where is Nuno Karo?
Who wants to know?
Where is Nuno Karo?
You are no one. A sad, nameless nothing who thinks they stand for something. You are simple, boring, predictable, dull. Just like her. Filth like you does not deserve a name.
My name is Yasuke.
Duarte is killed by the blade of Yasuke. He returned to the land and there meets the priest Luis Frois from the start. And that's the first time they've met since Lord Nobunaga's death. They catch up and Yasuke gives him a note that was in the pocket of Duarte. An oath to the Templar Order. Frois has heard of them before when he was back in Italy. The House of Brosia was the one he thought of from Rome. They were eradicated mysteriously by a secret organization which put an end to them. However, there was another name on here. Nuno Karo and Komura K. Komura K, however, was someone Yasuke needed to start with. Nuno Karo is a man that's impossible to find unless you're in the right place at the right time. Komura K tells Yasuke more about Nuno Karo and that he has a secret training ground not too far from here after he bested him in combat. A letter in his pocket from someone named the Silver Queen, but she doesn't seem like a warrior. Maybe it's someone who's more willing to cooperate. Yasuke tracks down the Silver Queen and they go inside for tea. However, his tea was poisoned and it made him weak and weary. And out walks Nuno Karo.
No. Carlo.
Oh, those giants. You made things difficult for me. You and that shinobi. Killing the Shinbaku, fine. I get it. But then, the Malu? And him, the Japanese fellow. I took offense. And not... The girl from Iga is a bit harder to find. You, not so much.
Bastard.
And now I hear you're interested in finding me. Very few people are supposed to know who I am. You look familiar. What was that? Probably unimportant. Thank you, Silver Queen, for your service. One less problem for us. This man and his partner ran down Lord Mitsuhide. He watched as that Yoko child delivered the most undignified death to your father.
Let me finish him off. For what he did to my father.
Well, there's Mitsuhide's spirit. Who am I to deny you vengeance? Progress has slowed recently. You will fix this, yes? A favor for a favor?
You will have what is yours.
For your troubles, my lady.
He heard that Yasuke was looking for him after everything he's done with the Shinbaku and others. Very few people were supposed to know who he is. However, the Silver Queen was in fact Lord Mitsuhide's daughter, but after listening to what Yasuke and Naoe did, the Silver Queen wanted to finish Yasuke herself. But he woke shortly later to the Silver Queen, Hosokawa Tama. It turns out when her father was ruling, he sent her and her brother as collateral to impress the foreign invaders. Now Karo scrapes the land clean. The silver will run out eventually, and they will die. But why has she kept him alive? What Yasuke said about helping her felt real, and well, a samurai always keeps their word. Yasuke needs to save Hosokawa's brother and bring him back to her, and that's exactly what he did. Here we speak to her, deliver her brother, and she gives us the location of Nuno Karo. Yasuke makes his way to the castle where Nuno Karo is held up, and battles him once and for all.
Stay away, Diogo! Let us settle this like civilized men.
You know nothing of civility.
Please. Diogo.
After you killed my mother, I kept my desire for vengeance in my heart. In the same place I once held thoughts of her. It kept me alive, nourished me, to get to you today.
Then, it's yours. Vengeance. Not that it will bring her back.
It is no longer mere vengeance I want.
Then what is it? What is this all about?
A declaration of war against the Templar Order.
You're serious? My God, you're serious. What makes you think you can win?
Because we are united in the defense of our home. This country, so shaken with strife. The people are victims to it. But together, they will be unstoppable. We will be unstoppable. We live by this code. And it is because of my league that I know what I must do.
And what does killing me prove?
That no one is untouchable. That even you are just one blade of grass in a withering field. And when you die, no one will remember you. Your death will only ever be a message to your compatriots. One that says you should fear us.
We will hunt you down. My crew will send everything at you.
After they find what is left of you, they may think twice. You may start praying now.
This isn't over. It's the beginning, in fact. The beginning of your end.
It is done.
Declaring war on the Templars. A fool's errand. Goodbye, Diogo.
My name is Yasuke.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the storyline explained for Assassin's Creed Shadows. I have really enjoyed this game. 27.5 hours it took me to finish. It did feel like it was dragging on a little bit towards the end, but I think that may have just been to the amount of cutscenes and the length of them throughout the game. The gameplay was great. I thought it looked visually stunning as well. There's so much more that I can jump into with this game. So much more story that I need to learn about this game as well. And that's through side missions and other things I'm going to jump back in and do once a few videos are out. And I'm very, very excited to be able to jump in and have a look and provide a load of videos to you guys about some good lore in a video game. It's been a while. So yeah. But if you guys want to be for the end of the giveaway, as I say, stay to the very end and you'll know what to do. Leave a like on today's video and comment down below Noway. I'll leave it on the screen, spell it this way. Comment down below Noway with your console or platform of choice and make sure you like the video and you'll be entered into a giveaway for whatever platform you want with a copy of Assassin's Creed Shadows Deluxe Edition. So leave it down below. It comes with the DLC, comes with a few little packs as well with armor sets and things. So leave it all down below. Yeah, just do that. Well, thank you very much for watching, everyone. I really appreciate it. I know it's been a while on the channel, but I've been waiting for a good game to come out, and this seemed like the best one to make a comeback on. So, yeah, let's hope that this is a new start going forward. But thanks very much, everyone. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down below of Assassin's Creed Shadows, and thank you very much to Ubisoft for giving me early access to this game. I really, really appreciate it, and we'll see you guys next time.